Adam Zundel with the Mountain East Conference here with Shepherd, Director of Athletics, BJ Pumroy. BJ, how are you today?
I'm all right, Adam. How about you?
I'm doing well. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. It's been a great fall over there in Shepherdstown, starting with the men's golf championship. Tell me a little bit about that team and their success, and really your nervousness in watching those 54-hole tournament.
Adam, I think the biggest thing I can talk about discussing our men's golf program is our head coach, Ed Coach. It's been with the program 3.5 years now, and we're just tremendously fortunate that we were looking for a golf coach, that he was available and willing to make that commitment to Shepherd because he's the guy who's really turned around a program that was, in some ways, was sponsored. Now he's really taken it upon himself to recruit and get the golfers here that can make a difference for us, and also teach him up. I mean, he was a former state titleist in teaching pro in the state of Maryland, working in kind of in the private realm. But as far as coaching teams, first head coaching job at a college university, and he's definitely done a fantastic job again of taking the natural talent, identifying talent, and making it his own. As far as a fan and an AD watching the recap of live stat of a golf tournament, it wasn't easy. You always understand exactly what's going on and trying to figure out how we can handicap the finish. But the thing I saw that just exemplifies the sport that I was very proud of was watching the team lead all 3 rounds. There's sometimes, especially golf, having emotion involved in it. You can be up and down day to day, but to recognize that they, as they hold on, they took from the day one, took the opening round and continued with that, despite the fact that they may have had teams that might be more physically talented pursuing them and coming hard. In the last day, especially when you're paired up with those groupings, sometimes if somebody's just a little bit better than you in hitting the ball straighter or farther, you try to outdo them. And you just got to worry about yourself. If I just do what I can do, stick within myself, okay. So it's like I say, quite exciting to sit in the office, try to watch the golf stat on it, and figured out finally when it popped up that everybody was in and we won, and to be able to call Coach Nolan and talk to the team over speakerphone. It was a pretty nice day for an AD. Even going up and down the hall, I said, "Our golf team won the title." Like, no way. It was something we kind of kept the department and campus informed on, but it was something that, again, to win the first ever golf title in any conference for Shepherd University was quite amazing accomplishment for him and the fellows on the team.
Well, you talked about having a good day as an AD. You've had a lot of good Saturdays as an AD here this fall with, again, the success of the football program heading into the last week with a chance to win another conference title, the second in 3 years. So tell me a little bit about the game coming up this weekend. And I'm curious from your perspective, your take on getting to watch Coach Cater as a former coach yourself, what you've really kind of seen and appreciate about him.
Well, I'll start off a little bit about talking about this Saturday, then I'll work my way backward. But this Saturday we have our senior day. We've got 12, I've just got one in front of me now, the seniors, and to honor on the field, their families with them prior to the game. But also here at Shepherd we'll have our 12th annual Military Appreciation Day. It's something that was probably in the initial stage started from an administrative assistant, Catherine Sula, who has her daughter is been in the Army now is in reserve. Several of her sons-in-laws have been that route, as well as her husband was Vietnam veteran. So she started and coming here. I was fortunate. Chip Ransom, our sports information director, his dad was a graduate of the Naval Academy. My family, my dad was Marine Reserve. My brother's now Lieutenant Colonel in the Air Force. And my grandpa was killed in action in France in World War II. He was a major in the U.S. Army. And so, there's a lot of connection that way. So the things that we do for that, we also really try to tie in our student veteran groups on campus. We've got a group that yesterday, the president, President Manning, actually initiated the 5-Star Challenge, and we accepted that challenge to try to provide more benefits and services for our student veterans. So it's a great Veterans Day program on campus. But on the Veterans Day Saturday, what we do, that's our Appreciation Day, we do it the closest to Veterans Day. We have any veteran or active service or active military personnel come down on the field before the game, take part in kind of a march, take part in being there for the colors being presented, national anthem being played, taps being played by our marching band. This year, presenting the colors, which last year was the 3rd Infantry Regiment, which is called the Old Guard, a very historic piece of U.S. military history. But they come over from D.C. and serve as their color guard for that. So it's something that we do it up right. It's not just an excuse for us to wear a different patch on our shirt and helmet. Or I think some places might take advantage of that. I think when I look at our field and see, 2 years ago, I know I was just thrilled that we had parents in Shepherd jerseys from their sons playing. We were playing state for Military Appreciation Day. See state fans coming out in their sons jerseys, coming out. It's like, okay, this is what I think college football is supposed to be. Is when we can compete on the field. There's a higher purpose, and more fans recognize that as well. So I feel very proud that that's going to be one of our startups on Saturday. But going back to the whole season, it's been a great ride. You're right. There's been a pleasant Saturday.
And one Thursday.
No doubt we had that one in there.
Mm-hmm.
But Saturday-wise, we really played well in the past 2.5 weeks. I would count half of Thursday teams played real well. In other words, to be living up to the standards of what I think Shepherd has performed like before. And I think that against Concord, against West Liberty, they really played to a level of what they're used to. I think it took that far into the season for them, though they were undefeated, though they were scoring 40 points a game, though they were ranked. I think achieving to the level of what they can do, it took a while for them to get there. And so I feel blessed that they're kind of bringing on all cylinders here late in the year and see what they can do tomorrow. And then hopefully that includes the win to have an outright conference championship, 5th undefeated season in Shepherd history. And win tomorrow, I think, on Saturday would bring us the #1 seed in Super Region 1. Great for our fans. Know that we'll be hosting as far as we could. And if they could get a week off following the Rams, we can always be a little more healed up. So, plenty of things on the line. I know Urbana's going to bring everything they have. It's their longest trip of the year coming out here for the last game. And you always know in the last game that they're seniors. So, that's it. And I guess we wish their seniors well. Obviously, we wish our seniors well. But look forward to that. Our new kickoff. Hoping that Military Appreciation Day, Senior Day, and we're also doing Youth Football Day, where any kid 8th grade and below is wearing a jersey gets in free. And as my staff might tell you, I'm not one who loves to give away free action. So getting the 8th grade and under crowd is a way to also recognize that football's taking a lot of criticism in our country right now, and I think the idea of letting youth football know that you can play at the right level with the right coaching is safe. It's not a scary drama that I think people want to make it out to right now.
And then again, your perspective on Coach Cater as a former coach yourself, and I don't think you can ever stop learning. And so I'm curious, kind of that dynamic and that relationship, and what you admire about him. And I'm sure there's several things.
I mean, I even before coming here, looking at this job opening, Coach Cater had the duration he had here in Shepherd, see the success that he had. Living in the Midwest and not knowing a whole lot about Shepherd at the time, that really rung true with me. Knowing that they had someone that successful who stayed that long, that's what volume. And for my time here, there used to be an AD here too. So the idea of someone who's been the boss come in, I was hoping things would work out right. I think we connected pretty well from the beginning. I know his knowledge of the game and knowledge of people is something that's been quite lived up to the expectations that he has for himself that I have. He's done a great job, not only melding his team, but with his coaching staff. He always mentions his coaching staff whenever he gets a chance to talk about the success of the team. He's got a defensive coordinator that came here in 2000 as a student athlete. Coach McCook is the offensive coordinator, been here 15 years. Joe Gordon, the quarterback coach, played here in the early 2000s. And that might have been his first year. Pumroy, defensive line coach, is a alum. He really delegates out and gives those folks the respect of what they deserve as far as who the success he is going without those people. But getting down to Monty. He's going to do it the right way. He has given some second chance before, but rarely third, fourth, 27th chance. Like you see some folks always finding a way to think that they're still good at something. Tried to show that they did. And I keep reminding people, like a lot of people, when you have the things that don't quite go right, you get down on, realize how successful some of these folks were, and no doubt that Coach Gator's influence has really bred some of that success in how they live their lives and how they are successful beyond what goes on in the field. For me, there's plenty of times to just keep my ears open because he has such a vast knowledge of history, doing things right with passion. He may not always show it on the outside, so smooth in press interviews and things like that, but he is passionate about what he does. And I'm fortunate that I get to see that come out sometime. I know the team's fortunate that they get to see it come out as well.
One last question kind of about football. Talk a little bit about, I thought one of the interesting things that Garen Justice had to say last year during Concord's run was that among the two toughest games he played all season long, and that included the playoffs, were against Charleston and Shepherd, two MEC teams. And now we're seeing two MEC teams, highly ranked in the regional ratings. Tell me a little bit about the progress of football and the quality of football that you have seen in this league in just 3 years.
Sure. Adam, I mean, one thing that I've seen is, we get the equivalency numbers here at the end of the year, the last AD's game, and I see how much they've grown across the conference. So I think the school's emphasis on football has really grown. And, you look at places that have neat or improved facilities. West Virginia State building the Glenville facility and putting a lot of effort into their program now. Glenville building a wonderful end zone facility. West Virginia Wesleyan getting rid of their grass. It's always been a problem putting in turf. West Liberty putting in the new home bleachers. I mean, I think you see a lot of institutions that recognize what kind of bang for your buck that football can do for your campus. And here in Shepherd, it's one that's been such a long tradition. Obviously, some of the things that other schools have been doing were things that money was fortunate enough to have happened sometimes 15 or more years ago. So sometimes they look at what all they're doing. Sometimes, we've got areas we catch up to other places. Sometimes they catch up to us. But I think overall the quality, what I've seen over 4 years is, we've seen a lot of teams be better. And I know from our coaches' standpoint, who they're recruiting against now, and most of the other teams might have stayed a little more local in their recruiting process. And I think now we're seeing them kind of come into our area of Northern Virginia and Maryland and making it tougher on us at times. So, but from our standpoint, as Coach Peter, the coaching staff, they have their system of what they do in recruiting. They don't jump the gun. They don't get too enamored with folks, and recognizing how they need to spread things out and stick to that system. Don't prove it wrong, and we're fortunate that it's got to stay in that way. But with Coach Justice making those comments last year, he was so gracious the year before in 2013. We were fortunate to beat them down there for the de facto conference championship game. Come on the bus, wish us luck, and say what a good group we have. We played them last year, and again, came down to the wire. They won it, and then to know that he feels like of the teams that they played in the playoffs, us and Charleston were the best ones. Really, I think, said a lot. I think looking through this season, I see some talented teams. And I look at Glenville State, one more win away from us having 3 teams in the playoffs. I think it's more competitive than it was in the past. Even some of the teams over the Concord finishing 5-5 this year. They're really good at football. And everyone, I felt the other teams in the conference was better. They're really good at football. Finished 500 this year.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on. We're on the eve of the start of the college basketball season, and I know that you were really proud, of course, of all of your coaches there, but particularly Jenna Eckleberry and turning that program around in just a short amount of time. But I want to go back a little bit to the hiring process and your philosophy and what you were looking for in a coach that Jenna matched, to kind of that said, oh, this is how it should work.
Well, I'll throw some appreciation around to my staff on the search. At that time, we were searching for both basketball and volleyball, and I put my assistant ADs in charge of those searches, and I kept the staff back and oversight it. But Melanie Ford, our former women's basketball coach, actually ran the volleyball search. Aaron Ryan, our assistant AD for external operations, ran the basketball search. They had 2 other people on those search committees. They vetted them and helped come through with people they wanted to be finalists, and I reviewed those. But when we set up the search to look for those spots, we we look for somebody who's got a Division II background. We want someone who has been in some cases in a publicly large school. We want someone who has that background of knowing it's not as easy as you want it. It's handed to you, and having that familiar genocide of knowing what it was like to be in our conference, knowing our area, how she would need to recruit, how she would need to strategize. She really came through. We had 3 great finalists for the basketball spot, and going into it, I might have thought we had an edge for her, but she was the 3rd one in. And I tell you what, I think if she told us no, I think we could have hired a good coach. I don't think either one of them would have done as great work as she did last year. But no doubt, she came highly recommended. She was ready to be a head coach. She knows the game so well, but even more so, and I don't know if she always does aware of this, she knows people really well. For someone early in her coaching career, she knows how to handle people, how to be aggressive, and yet have to temper your feelings sometimes. And I think on the recruiting front, I think she did a ton of it at a very good program within the conference, and I think she'll continue that on our end here. But no doubt, for me, it was a wild ride. I expected us to be a lot better than we were the year before. Just to say it out there, we were 4-23 before she came. That was she took basically the same crew, 22-10, and I knew we were going to be better at 4-23. 500 or should be the first year. We got some seniors, but no way did I think we're conference championship again. So we may be in the hunt for towards the title. But she's done wonderful work here. We expect that to continue. She's nervous. Season's coming on, and she's going like it's going to be harder every year. Because how am I going to duplicate?
Yeah, right.
First time you do, you'll know how special it is again.
Yeah.
Never get old doing those same things. Previously, my administrative career, I was at Truman State University. My good friend there, Mike Cannon, won his 300 game last week, won the GLBC title, and won the regional play. And early on, when the MIAA started soccer, when the first 8 titles in a row, at some point, players on the team got a little complacent about winning conference titles. Like, ladies, don't ever get complacent about this because you never know when that streak's going to stop. And for Jenna's sake, she builds upon a great first year. It's never think that we can never do it. The whole idea is you cut your first year record for your second one. We'll see what time comes, but again, I think she's building the program so they can be a contender for the title each year. This year might be really tough with a lot of other teams having so many seniors, a lot of returners, and us in the opposite boat. But if somebody can do it, I rely on her.
You mentioned a little bit about your administrative experience. I want to talk a little bit about your role on the NCAA Championships Committee, what that committee does and your role on it, and what are some positive things you've seen come out of that committee during your time there.
Well, my fortune to be on the Championships Committee, initially I even applied to be on the committee. I served as NCAA on the NCAA Baseball Committee from 2000-2003. I was chair of the National Committee my last year. I ran as a host institution. We've run volleyball, men's soccer, wrestling regional. I've been to women's basketball regional, men's basketball regional. So I had softball regionals. I've been to a lot of different things and been part of those. So I thought I'd work in championships because I had a broad spectrum of experiences with those sports as an administrator. And the championship one we think to get into was fortunate to be selected that way. And since becoming on there, it's getting a chance to work with great individuals around the country who are trying to make NCAA Division II has been the championship level and give the student athletes the good experiences that they expect and want to have and deserve to have. And I think through our 3 years, in my 3rd year now, the big things I've seen are the idea of increasing the bracket sizes, very important in baseball, football, women's lacrosse, men's soccer, women's golf. I think those were huge elements. And we tried to get a very strategic budget process and outline on how to do that, which was not just the same old, same old. If we've done the same old, we wouldn't have had budget increases in those sports, or not budget increases, bracket increases in those sports. So I think as a committee, we worked really hard to know what's the most important thing to look at. I think in some other ways, the idea of standardizing the region, how you're the 5. I'm going to edit this part out. The 5 parts of on the selection criteria, the 5 mandates across the board, and the sport committee picks 3. In doing that, again, we're trying to be transparent, and that's even shown some more this fall with the transparency documents going on line where I think every school at some point will do a job of being playoff. And sitting on baseball, there's decisions like at some point you just got to pick. You feel like what you think's right and best. But there's times where I think you look at an individual school going like, I don't think this is right. I don't know how the numbers show that this is how the school should be in, and worry about bias in the conference or some of those things. And I think now having those areas more transparent, I think will really ring true on you can go and look and tell and see how are these criteria being applied. If someone's really getting worked over, I think they'll be able to show. So I think those are some great points that we made in trying to grow the level of competency of our championships. Having again, everyone is under the same parameters of what it takes in their sport to get in, and then having the ability to look at the numbers and say, okay, I can see where this is logical rather than just saying, well, that compensates our conference or so hopefully that won't happen anymore. It went too long ago. There's some sentiments that went that route.
Yeah, I'm just from a personal standpoint, where is the balance? And I'm guessing this is the tricky part in terms of following the numbers and using the eye test or using the subjectivity, because for many years people complained about the BCS and the computer rankings spitting it out, and we need more subjectiveness. And then you bring subjectiveness, and people are saying, well, he played there, and all those biases that you kind of referred to. How do you go about balancing that?
Well, we always say the sport committee and their regional advisory committee, if we didn't want human involvement, we just have to do it straight by the numbers. So I think when you take that as your key element, but saying, can you duplicate and replicate, and are you fine? Use your personal work, but use your personal opportunity to be subjective. Are you using that consistent across the board? Are you not? If you're using it from spot 5 to 6, or using it from spot 4 to 5, are you using the same things over again when you use the human element? Because again, it doesn't have to just be the numbers, and it's not supposed to be tally up the boxes. And 8 categories, they've got 5, they've got 3, so automatically they're above that team. It's not supposed to be like that. Those are supposed to be your basis of things. And if you adjust, what are the actual the numbers can show you things, so I think that's a high percentage, but not 100% of what the selection criteria is. There is that.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your former life as a baseball coach and those experiences. I know a lot of your friends inside the Mountain East Conference are either former baseball coaches or current baseball coaches, and I'm wondering if you envy them, or if you don't want any more part of that, or what parts of coaching the game do you miss?
Quite frankly, Adam, a lot better AD than I was a coach. Unfortunately, a lot of my former players will say that. But I try to teach them about life. I don't think I've got that baseball, but I look at what Coach Matt McCarty does here, like Jackson, good on the game and how to produce it. I can talk with them. I don't feel like I'm sliding too far because I don't want to coach them. I really know what to do. I look around the conference. 3 ADs now, and Kevin Garrett down in Concord, AD and baseball coach, Sean Lloyd at West Virginia State, and Teddy West Virginia Wesleyan. And I don't know how they do that. I like being an AD or being a coach. My subsistence of coaching now is helping my children who are 9 and 7 next summer. I enjoy that, trying to teach kids how to like baseball, these things with them. No, wins feel just as good as they used to feel. Losses don't hurt as long. For me, compared to what it used to be like when I was coaching. And I was the type of coach when I get told by a recruit that he didn't want to come to my place and pick somewhere else, or his mother would because the kid was too sad to tell me because he didn't want to hurt my feelings. It was always like getting dumped right before the prom. It always hurt when a kid told me no when I was trying to coach and recruit him, and I never could get over the idea of like, well, they gave me the second worst answer on the next kid. I just took it personal when I shouldn't have, I guess. So now I take that in pursuit of recruiting coaches. And, hey, there's going to be some that really should come here that don't. But all in all, try to do the best what you can do.
Some big news out of Shepherd just the other day. New president, former alum. So obviously, it's an exciting time now. So tell me a little bit about your new president, when all that starts.
Well, Adam, your first day is going to be, I believe, February 29th. I got to look over the calendar. We have 29 days in the month this year. Because it is a leap year, right? Yeah. Yep, February 29th. That's gonna be our first day. I saw that posted in the newspaper this morning. But Dr. Hendricks will come to us after working at the Children's Hospital at Northwestern University. She's a Shepherd alum. She also had worked at the great University of Iowa, my homeland. I didn't go to the University of Iowa, but I'm from Iowa. And still lustfully cheer for the Hawkeyes. So she worked there in their medical school. She worked in Arizona in an academic capacity. So she brings a lot of things as well as her down homeness. She's from Shepherdstown. She went to Shepherd College for her undergrad. She still has a lot of those connections, and also through other connections is familiar with some of our legislators, both locally at the state level and at the national level. And I think some of those connections can bode well for Shepherd University. Like a lot of schools in the state, we're kind of in an enrollment downturn right now, but I think there's some other prospects on the political front that, as far as state funding for colleges and universities, she's I think can help examine that and help to make sense of why certain institutions have something and certain institutions don't, and what is the model for the funding of higher ed in the state of West Virginia. Beyond that, I think she's got an entrepreneurial spirit, the idea of how to grow things, knowing that all public colleges and universities are not just relying on the state, you have to work on the outside to get those folks on the inside. And I think she's shown those abilities as well. She has a connection to her tennis team. She has a scholarship on a women's tennis team. I couldn't, before this year, I didn't really have a real reason to figure out why exactly that, where that came from. But knowing that she's got that interest and she recognizes what Shepherd Athletics have been to campus over the years, I feel pretty comfortable. And also, from what I understand, she's pretty good friends with Coach Walter Barr, the football coach from 1972 to 86 here, or 85, pardon me, at Shepherd. Those would be good things. She knows Coach Barr, we're in good shape. Just because then she knows good people and respects good people. So, I was hired by Dr. Suzanne Shipley out in the Midwestern state of Texas. They're having a great football year, a great men's soccer team down there this year. I miss her. She was a pretty good friend of the boss. And then Sylvia Manning, who's the president, interim president right now. She was out there as we handed out the Black and Blue Panhandle President's Challenge Trophy. She was basically the team mob as they got that after the rest of the game. Her husband is one of his sons actually played for Coach Cater back in Milliken. Coach Cater's first year as a college head coach or college assistant coach. So there's some great kind of tradition and background that way too. So I've been fortunate to work for two, and then to be our third president during my time here. And like I say, Shepherd's, and there's something special about it when you're here. I know everybody says it's the people, no matter what school they're at, and we're fortunate to have good folks, but also a good location, a very beautiful campus. Someplace that grew up as a Midwestern, living there my whole life. Never thought I'd live in West Virginia, and I don't know why I'd leave now. So I feel pretty fortunate to be where I am. And I think seeing Dr. Hendricks take the same position of if I can get back there, I'll get back there. It goes pretty well for our institution.
You have a unique perspective of being in of all of your experiences and being in the MIAA among your experiences. Tell me a little bit about the MEC and its formation, and of course it's still very young compared to a lot of the other conferences out there, but what you see are the strengths, and I know that you were very involved in a lot of the initial works in terms of scheduling and those aspects of it. So what have you seen from the MEC that is positive in the direction to kind of follow in the lead of great leagues that you've been a part of?
Well, I think a big part of what I've seen from the get-go, not always make comparisons, but just to say what I see at the Mountains conferences, the office staff is very good. Just to smoke you,
Yeah.
but we've got some very talented people in the central office who are very ambitious, very credible with what they do. Have some great talents, and I think that's huge as far as dealing with some of the other conferences I've been a part of. Is knowing that this isn't just kind of like the end of the line kind of thing. This is we want to keep things better, and not just let the schools kind of run themselves. We want to make things better as an entirety of all 12 institutions. And sometimes that is being more of a stronger governmental entity than what a conference office is sometimes. It's telling folks we have standards and we help develop them. We're going to make sure we enforce them too. And I think that's a big part of why our conference is growing well, is that there's an expectation that it isn't just it's not a necessary evil to have athletics on your campus. And the sports that we have and the things that we've seen success across the board with the University of Charleston men's soccer, the Jesuit volleyball. We had some great baseball teams last year. Softball, my West Virginia Wesley North Regional Final. Basketball, West Liberty on the men's side is always really good. I mean, there's a lot of star attraction. Of course, I'll say Shepherd football in it too. But it's something that across the board, there's schools that are interested in not just one thing. Across the breadth of how the sports standards worked out last year, and you see folks that really emphasize not just one thing and try to make the belt out. There's a lot of it. That's something that will continue within the league. Yes, you can have something that local fans are most passionate about, but you have to spread your ambition across the board to make sure that you have successes across the board. So, but again, I think for the Mountain East consistency, listen to good people. We had good people doing work. We came up with a style of governance that allowed for a lot of input to start, but everybody came to the same conclusion that we were with that conclusion too. And I hope we'll see that continue throughout the years. It seems like our meetings this year have been a little bit shorter than they have been in the past. I think as well it's because we got stuff right on the things that we're doing. So maybe it's okay for you to be a bit shorter. And again, I think there's a lot of trust factor in the room now too, where I think we recognize we are going to collaborate, but at the end of the day, the conference office is going to make the call. They're going to be held accountable at the president. And so I think that's a better setup than I've seen in this previous conference. Where it seemed like there's certain administrators that think they kind of run the show, and somebody's tried to bully their way to the top, and maybe negative on the personal aspect or professional aspect of the out for them. But I think seeing what I see at the end of the season, a lot more collaboration that way, and folks that recognize blue or different colors of everybody. That's a big part of it. With the student athletes, things like the student athlete advisory leadership conference, those kind of things. You realize if you had the same shirt on, you got just because you play once a year, it's still be friends. It's just not on that day. No doubt. I like meeting Kevin Garrett and but I also respect and like him every other day that we're around. I can still smile and shake his hand no matter what. We'll see what baseball's like this spring. Coaching box compared to just watching from the sideline.
Yeah, he'll be wondering who that guy in the Shepherd vest is heckling him. Yeah, well, BJ, good stuff. Thanks so much. I want to see, are you participating in the No Shave November on your goatee there?
I'm trying to think of a good reason why this keeps growing and growing.
Do the No Shave November thing, man.
Well, I kind of like to keep it here to keep it warm, but I don't know. I was trying to see if it was to protest or something or anything like that, just contrary. I don't really have a good enough story built out yet, so I trimmed the side and try to let the flame see how far it goes. People started calling me Santa Claus here in a month or two, or probably just one.
Well,
but if they start calling me Santa Claus, then
well, why don't you trim it when Shepherd loses?
I don't want to give anything away, but my favorite program, the Hawkeyes and Shepherd, has the exact same record.
Uh-oh.
And only one of them has to play Ohio State.
All right, man. Thanks so much for carving out some time with us here today. Appreciate it. Great work over there as always, and thanks so much for your time again.